mostly ITAR tournaments, like the state country level tournaments. I didn't play much of the ITF. The thing was like I didn't have much of awareness as I did now. Back then, I came from a very small town, so nobody pretty much knew the way all the way to be like professional. So I got to know about ITF juniors like a very late, around like I was like 16 years or like 17 years, and then pretty much I played like very few ITF juniors. But then the transition from ITF to ATP to like the ITF, like a men's circuit, was fast, and it was very helpful because I don't know, luckily I would say, but I did pretty good job. So I played my first ITF tour when I was 18 years, and on my debut I made a point, so the ATP point. So which made a lot of difference because after that I traveled to Spain. Uh, I was able to get into all the future tournaments there. So I would say that was one match which was it was very helpful for me going forward to the career wise. In juniors, I would say I played like I think 10 ITF juniors, and then I won one grade 4 in India. So I've been to Sri Lanka a couple of times for juniors as well, Colombo especially. Yeah.
What was your pathway to your current position? For example, uh, like you said about ITF juniors at a later time. Did you focus more on futures as a teenager, or did you predominantly play ITF or ATA?
Like I said, because I didn't know much about ITF or the professional world so I started late playing the futures because my first ITF futures, the men's circuit, was when I was 18. So that's right after, like when I can't play juniors, basically I played the men's. I would say that is pretty much very late. I mean, nowadays people are focusing more on the men's circuit compared to the juniors, because in men's, like there's a lot of age difference, and you meet a lot of other people, lot of variety. The junior tennis and the men's tennis is very much different. So I did nowadays. My suggestion is that people have to play men's when they cross. Like there's a limit to play men's, right? I think 14 years. When you cross 14, you can start playing men's. You can try, like 14, 15. You can of course try play few of men's and more of juniors. But yeah, but for me it was late. But yeah, but somehow I was able to catch up in time for the men's circuit, and I did pretty good at the start of my career in men's.
So we have seen you play in Colombo in 2017, right? And we know you have a big game. How has your game developed since then?
It has pretty much improved a lot because I was working specifically on my like a varieties of game, not just going big. Because nowadays the game is changing. The tennis game is becoming more of rallies. Like everybody is fit to run, and like no matter how hard you hit, the people are reaching, and the ball is going to come back. So I was more working on my consistency, not using my, like, the level has to be more up. So I was working more on my forehand, serve, and physical endurance and everything. So it did a good impact, and my coaches are working specifically every day. Uh, every day for me, like it's like a specific training is going on. So it's pretty much improved a lot. I would say, like 50% more better than what I was before in 2019.
Um, so the past 2 years has been very tough for athletes like, globally. For example, traveling to tournaments has become really hard. Many tournaments have been cancelled. Leave those alone. Just getting to practice has been hard with lockdowns and curfews. How have you kept yourself motivated at these in the past 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like the past 2 years has been very tough because I have missed a lot of opportunity. My best win was before the lockdown when I played the Bangalore Challenger. So I beat Lucas Russell in
Yeah.
the second round, and the third round I almost. It was a tough match. It was a close match. I lost 4-5 to a Japanese player. So he's like now top 100. So it was really difficult. But yeah, I mean, I have to keep myself motivated. Have to push. The only thing was for me, the only thing I focused was on the physical fitness because pretty much I can't do anything. I have to stay at home. There was no access to any ground. So the only motivation for me was to keep myself fit, not not like absolute fit. You can't do that just being at home, but physically maintaining myself, eating properly, uh, mentally fit. Mainly, the main importance is to be mentally healthy. So those things kind of helped me when I got into the court. Uh, I just want to feel fresh, and the main thing is not lose to hope, like not to lose hope, and there is a still hope is that you can still do it. So that's the only thing for me because the whole world was suffering, just not me. So I just have to accept what is there and have to move on with it. So pretty much I was doing everything just to stay mentally tough and physically okay-ish fit. So which helped me when I got back on court. I was able to still able to win matches. I still had that desire to win, the motivation to push every day.
Um, just trying to sorry, just to revisit that match with Lucas Russell. Uh, Going into that match, what were like what were your thoughts? What was running in your mind? Because playing a player who has defeated Ivan Dodik and Rafa, uh,
Yeah,
what was on your mind and how did you go into that match?
I didn't know that he beat Nadal
Okay,
like during the match. I had no idea. Like
you
as
haven't
I
done your
got to know
homework.
after the match. Yeah. I mean, um, because I don't usually see the draw that much. I
Okay,
don't focus more on the draw.
right.
Even when I played my first match against Adil, I know that I'm playing Adil. After my match, I know that I'm playing a player called Lucas Russell. So that's all I knew. Like I didn't even see who I'm playing the next. But yeah, I did because like at that level, you can easily Google who that is, and you can actually see his match, like few clips from YouTube or somewhere. Uh, yeah, so pretty much nothing. Like I just went there to play. Just another day uh, to perform. So pretty much nothing. I just want to win. And then I was just focusing more on my game, what I can do, other than focusing on the opponent. So even Rohan Bopana called me up previous night and he told me like, few points where I can use against him, the crucial moments, because he has seen him playing many times, and I think so that helped me. So pretty much nothing. Like it's just the same. Like I didn't want to win, but I didn't want to lose. I just wanted to play a good match.
Right. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the highest level of our sport, mental toughness, mental skills, maybe differentiating factor over uh, physical ability and skills between two players. What are some of the mental skills that you prepare you used to prepare for tournaments and matches, maybe even for points?
Yeah, I mean, mental toughness, mental strength is the key nowadays, because like everyone is able to run, uh, chase the ball down, put the ball back in. But the crucial moment when it comes, whoever has the desire to win or stay, the awareness of what's happening, so that makes a lot of difference. Even in the highest level, like I think you can see Roger versus Novak in the finals. Roger had 2 match points.
Mm.
I think the previous Olympic Wimbledon.
Yeah.
From there, he somehow Djokovic pulled through. So that shows the mental toughness. So what I follow is, usually I do meditation every day, uh, without fail. But yeah, now and then I miss, but still I focus on doing it. I do yoga, so that helps my body to be aware of everything. During match, uh, it is easy to say, I know that, but the one thing I focus is on each point. So I will not try to focus on what happened before, or it's like a past. Once that point is over, then you have to move on. Like, usually, what I have experienced myself and I have seen players doing is that when they miss a shot, uh, like in the start of the match, like 2 or 3 times, in going closer into the match, they won't hit the same shot. They'll be hesitant to hit the shot, and then they're gonna miss away. Anyway, they're gonna miss that shot. So they're thinking about what happened in the past, and they are scared to do it on that moment. So that makes a lot of difference. Like it comes down to the confidence you have in yourself. You have to believe your shots, whatever your thoughts, whatever your game plan, and you have to stick to it no matter what. So even if you lose, you'll have a better idea of what you did on court, because a lot of juniors, a lot of players, they play a match and they come out and they say, I don't know what happened today. I have seen personally, and I have experienced when I was starting the men's circuit. Like sometimes I play and I lost, but I can't say what happened in the match. That'll be like uh, that should not happen for a player. Like you should be aware. So I would say go by a point by point. Don't carry what happened for a previous point. So you just need to focus on what is happening right now and what you want to do at that moment with that ball. So if you can do that, you will be much more better, and you won't feel that nervous to play. So that my suggestion is that what I follow personally is that I focus on that point. So if I start serving, I'll pre-install few set of directions I want to hit. For example, I want to serve wide, and the return comes. I'm going either way. I'm going to his forehand. But situation, if it's like too tough to hit that shot, I'm not going there. But if there's a chance, then my mind is already set that I'm going there. So my body will move in a certain way and position itself to hit that shot perfectly. So that thing I follow. So I mean, I recommend that, but it depends on everyone's game and mentality. So that's what I do in tournaments and even in the match.
Nikki, staying healthy, I know like apart from yoga, you do a lot of stretching. I think in collectively about an hour or two for a day, you do like stretching and yoga. Am I right? In your routine?
Yeah, so it comes with the whole package, not just stretching. So I start the mobility.
Okay.
So yeah, during this, like before I start the session, so I roll like a foam roll. Then I do proper mobility for throughout the body.
Okay.
Then I mean, first is stretching, then rolling, then I do mobility probably take an hour or so.
Right.
And then I start warming up and everything. Even after the session, I do stretching. That would take like 30 minutes.
Okay.
And yoga would be like about another 15-20 minutes. So pretty much close to 2 hours, or sometimes more than that, sometimes less.
So do you follow a diet, nutrition, or diet or something like that to complement your play?
Yeah, I do that, but not specifically uh, diet, because it's like, if you go to nutrition, they will tell you to eat in certain amount of grams. I can't carry the scale and put rice, and it is just frustrating for me. So I don't do that. I eat only good food. Like,
Okay.
I always manage to eat good food, not healthy. So I know what gives what. For example, if before a match I want to have more carbohydrates and have protein, so I eat more rice and have eggs. So that helps. Then after the match, I have to hydrate. I drink a lot of water. Then if I have a match, then again carbohydrates and some fibers like vegetables and something like that. So these are the basic, like, uh, there are foods you have to take. I think you can ask your nutritionist to give you diet based, but I don't follow the quantity, uh, because if my body needs more, then I'm gonna eat. Uh, I'm not gonna stop at 500 grams of rice or something like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, players like Rafa has rituals both on and off the court. Do you have any?
Yeah, like few, not much. Uh, the one main thing I follow is I usually sleep with the match clothes before night, the previous night.
Okay.
So I don't know. So,
Interesting.
so that is one thing. And then I eat the same food. Uh, if I'm winning, like if I'm in the match, I'm like progressing through the match, I eat the same food, same quantity. I mean, similar quantity first, but almost the same food uh, throughout the week. Like, if I'm still in the tournament, I'll be doing the same thing. I won't change anything. I will do the same routine, like whatever I started with the tournament. Uh, Depending upon the accessible, like, gym and everything, my warm up changes. So if I have a machine that I'll be doing cycling or something like that, so I'll stick to my routine in the same way, and even the sleep time will be the same. I won't change anything, and I won't pretty much do anything different before night, like going out or anything like that. Like if I'm going out every day, then I'll do that. But if I'm staying at the same hotel and ordering, I'll do the same.
Right.
And during match, pretty much nothing specifically, I would say. Uh, I'm not sure. Like, everything changes. Maybe towel. Uh, I won't take it for the first game, so I don't know why. So there's a few things, yeah.
Um, Tell us about your support team. Who is a part of your team and how important is team cohesion for you?
Like my coaches, like Sujit, Balu sir, and Rohan. So it's like the team is the most important thing. Like, since it's an individual sport, it is easy to get lonely, and you need someone to talk with. Uh, you need someone to share what's happening and everything. So my coaches play a really big role. Uh, and then my parents, like, pretty much I won't talk much about the sport, what's happening on the court and everything. But general, like, they are the main support. Like, they've been praising me, like they want me to win and everything.
Mm.
And apart from that, my friends, like, they are really supportive. So I do speak with them often. But the coaches and the fitness coach, I think they are the main pillars. Uh, I spend a lot of time with them on court and off court also. So that's the most important thing. If you can trust your support team, coaches and everything, uh, I think that will give you much more confidence in terms to perform and everything. So I think it's a good thing to have a good support team.
What does a typical training day look like for you?
So now I start from 8:15 and it goes till 9. The fitness starts at 8:15 to 9, and then from 9 to 11:30 is tennis. That's like 2 hours. So and then again we start with 2 hours of 1.5 hours tennis from 1:15 to 3. So that's almost like 2 hours, like 1.5 hours. Yeah, 1.5 hours, and again we do fitness for 1 hour. So that is the match. That is the routine. That's the schedule I follow with the academy. Apart from that, you can add 1 hour before and 1 hour after, because I have my own things to do, like meditation, uh, mobility. It doesn't come with uh, the academy's timing. I have to find my own time to do it before. So pretty much I start my day at 7:15 in the morning, and it ends like probably around 5:30, 5:30, I would say.
Uh, so, do you play tennis full time, or do you have? Are you studying or doing anything apart from playing tennis?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm just doing BBA, it's like an online course.
Okay.
So but that's not important for me.
Okay. Right. Okay. Um, for players in South Asia, playing tournaments at the right stage may be a challenge because of the limited number of tournaments that we have at the ITF and ATP level. On top of obtaining visas, paying for yard tickets and uh, accommodation in hotels rather, maybe a challenge. What is your advice to South Asian juniors who want to make it big?
Uh, that is tough because it is it's the situation everybody has to go through. I would say. I mean, if you can go to Europe, that is well and good. But then being in South Asian, especially India, like Sri Lanka or even Thailand, so we have to plan very smart. Uh, First of all, if you can afford that much, I would say you can go to Europe or States, like US. You can play a lot of tournaments there, come back, do that. But if it's a financial strain, then you have to be smart. You have to look for tournaments which happens in Asia alone. Uh, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much everybody has to go through. I would say be smart, and if you can play uh, in Asia, South Asia, and every time if you do, you have to perform well. Like if you start performing, if you start believing, and if you put more effort into what you're doing and being aware of what you want to achieve later in your career, uh, which will which will give you a different motivation to push you every day. So I would say that's pretty much it is. Uh, you have to you have to accept the fact that there is very less tournaments, and especially during the lockdown, this COVID thing. Uh, as a player panel member, I'm trying my best to bring tournaments to Asia, but all the countries are locked. Like the Thailand, they want to conduct tournaments. They are ready actually, but then the country is not allowing because of the COVID restrictions. And then Doha, I think it's starting from November, October. Doha, it's slowly opening, but other countries are fully shut. No one knows when the tennis is gonna start in Asia. So the situation is really bad for Asians. So you have to just accept it and train. If you can go save money and go play in like Africa or Europe, US, I think you should do it. Apart from that, we have to plan smart.
I know the next question I'm going to ask you is something maybe we kind of touched based on, let's say a player from Sri Lanka wants to come and play tournaments. Let's say an under 14 or under 16 player wants to come and play tournaments in India before playing any of the ITF tournaments. Are there any other tournaments that they can just start off it and then move into playing ITFs due to like cost factors and things like that? Are there, and like which part of India would be more economical and practical for someone from Sri Lanka uh, coming to India to play?
I think uh, I'm not sure about a uh, different country player coming and playing ITA circuit. I think you can do it. Uh, there are many tournaments happening. I think starting now. Even the men's are starting in I think Gurgaon, like the Delhi side. I would say India is like it's cheap. Like every country is cheap. Like every city is cheap. Like pretty much, you can find good food, like cheap food, very good stay for a very less price. So I would suggest. I mean, the calendar is there in ITA, like ITA website. Uh, if you can come and maybe you can mail the ITA and ask if you can play. There is some. I think you have to register.
Okay.
Just to get the ITA number. That's like 3,000 rupees, Indian rupees. I'm not sure. But then I think anyone can come and play if you can register.
Okay, thanks, Niki. That's all the questions from me. I'm going to take a few questions from the viewers. I'm not gonna cover questions which he may have touched based on. So let me start with question from Jamal. He's saying, "What is the key to winning a match?"
Well, Jamaat, key to win a match, it depends on many things. Not, I can't say that if you have a big forehand, you're gonna win. But it depends on the overall performance of individual player, and and I would say maybe the attitude will make a lot of difference. Even if you have a very big game, very good stroke and everything, if you have the right attitude, right mindset, and the right desire, if you have the desire to win, you're gonna grind more on court. And even if you don't have a stroke, you're gonna manage it with, and then you can perform better. So attitude and desire to win will make a lot of difference compared to the strokes.
I have another question here. It says, "What are the major challenges of playing abroad, and how do you deal with them?"
Sorry, come again.
What are the major challenges playing abroad, and how do you deal with them?
The major problem is just a financial problem. It's just the money. If you have the money, you can play anywhere you want. But major thing is the financial thing, because it's Indians and even the Sri Lankans. It's pretty much the same economy going on.
Yeah.
But the Europe is like way expensive. The average meal in Europe, it's like 10 euros. That's the standard. Like if you go, you have to spend 10 euros. That's like in India, I can eat that for like one day if like a proper like a good meal. If I do fancy, but it's not worth it. But 10 euros is the minimum there, and everything is expensive. There is no disadvantage apart from the financial. I would say everything is good. Even the standard in Europe is high compared to India, or in like Asian, like South Asian countries. The standard is very high, so it will be very good to compete there.
I have another question. You said, do you have any tips on how to deal with tricky matchups that you encounter, perhaps with players you do not know from before?
So, so like my level, like pretty much every tournament has a different players. So you have to analyze quick. The only tip that is the only tip is that, like I said, be aware of what's happening. Be at present. At least like when you start the game, like 1 2 games, first 1 or 2 games, you should probably know at least like 50% of your opponent's game. What is he doing? What is his best shot? Like what is his strength? That uh, is he a good returner, or okay, he's pretty much staying at the back and he wants to grind. So you'll pretty much know what is happening, and you have to analyze with like 50% of this game in like 1 or 2 games. Like his serve game and your serve game, you should probably know 50% of your opponent's game, and based on that, you can change few tactics, and then you can play. But my tip, if you don't know a player, I would just stick to your game. Like don't try to play your opponent's game. Uh, Play your game. What your coach worked on you, what your coach told you to do before the start of the match. Even if you lose point, doesn't matter. But you do that for a few games, then you'll understand. Okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what is happening, and you can change accordingly. So, but any match, you have to go in a plan, and you have to follow the plan. Don't change it for the opponent.
Um, the next question is, what do you do during your off days?
Off days, I don't know. Pretty much sleep, watch movies, nothing. I'll be too sore or too tired to do anything.
Okay.
So pretty much nothing. Yeah, if sometimes I go out uh, for a movie, meet some friends, but nothing interesting.
Um, let me. Okay, as a player who has made it big, have you faced peer pressure and mental breakdowns? What do you do to control it?
I have felt that I think in 2017 or 18, I think I would say, because I wasn't playing that great. Uh, I stopped tennis for 1 or 2 months. Um, that's when I was doing more yoga and more meditation. Uh, and right after I started, I took a break. I came back and I got a major injury while playing. But again, I have to do that for like a month. So approximately 6 months, I didn't play pretty much. But the only goal was to mentally fit. So it has happened to me before. Uh, I took a little break from tennis uh, just to clear my mind, just to get mentally fit. So I would say, so yeah, I mean, it happens, and you have to deal with it in the best way possibly you can do it. It differs from everyone, and yeah, so
So there's another question here. Do you prioritize mental fitness over recovery?
mental fitness with recovery.
Over recovery. What do you
No,
prioritize?
priority is recovery. For me, it's recovery.
Okay.
Because I got injured a lot before. Uh, a lot of times, like in a year, I get injured like some two or three times, like major injury, like times, which it shouldn't happen. If I want to do better, I know that if I can stay fit, stay without an injury, I can do better. Because mentally, I am there. I'm doing my things regularly. Uh, but physically, I have to keep myself fit throughout the year if I want to perform. So I would prefer more recovery than mental, but I do mental, like I focus on mental strength as well every day. But recovery is a bigger part in my career.
Uh, Nikki, I think
Yeah,
you did get a US college offer and you turned it down, right?
yeah.
And continue to play pro. Looking at it back in hindsight, uh, what do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't regret it because back then uh, the US college was I would say not much. I didn't have much information, and very my time, like very few people went to US, and people who went there, they wanted education and tennis. So, but I didn't want, like my priority was just tennis. Education was the second part. It wasn't even the priority. So for me, it was clear that I have to play tennis, and then I didn't have pretty much, like nobody knew what's gonna happen going there. I mean, uh, like there's a stat saying that only few player made it out as a pro, like John Isner, like Somdev, or few more of the players. So only those players made it out of, I don't know, out of how, not like many players. So we decided that, playing uh, without going to college, like going pro from start of 18 years to, that will make a lot of difference. So that's why I stayed behind. I think I got an offer from the Wake Forest, but yeah, I didn't play.
Okay, there is another question. You think, are there specific things or rituals you do to control your anger? I guess this is in context during a match. Yeah, how do you control your anger?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Uh, we have to train that off the court. It's not something you do on the court. Like you cannot go into a pressure situation and control your feelings. So it has to be done off the court. Like I said, I don't get angry that much on the court. I don't lose my temper on the court because uh, it's basically you get angry if you don't know what is happening in the court. That's the pretty much that's the truth. If you don't know what's happening, you're gonna lose your head. Like if you can think, if you know what is happening, okay, I did this wrong, maybe I can correct this. So uh, that's how, if you have that awareness of what you are doing, you will accept it, and you will do what, like you have to do that again with a bit of change. So I would say this has to be done mainly off court. Um, like even in the practice, everybody takes a practice so easy, but even in the practice, this has to be done. Like if you can focus this, like practice match if you're playing, and I think pretty much if you're angry on the match, it'll be the same during the practice also. So if you can uh, think and play what you're doing in the practice, and even off the court, if you do meditate or like breathing exercises, or like a lot of things, a lot of different things are there to help with awareness. So if you do all this, then you'll be aware, and you'll be able to control your anger more.
Okay. Um, my final question, I guess. Now, if there's anyone else who has any questions, kindly type it in. Has has your mobility training and recovery helped you stay relatively injury free now?
Sorry, come again. I get that.
Has your mobility training and recovery helped you stay relatively injury free now? Has it helped?
Yeah, that's yeah. Those things will help you a lot. That's the thing everyone are doing. Like the mobility is to keep your joints working and everything like before you start playing. And these things in the long term it will help. Like so, your mobility is not like if you do for a week and then it is done. No, you have to do it every day so that the long term your body will get adjusted to it, and it has helped me a lot. Like I had like severe back pains just just when I started this in June, and I started mobility and recovery session. I felt good within like 2 weeks. So uh, that's the difference it made for me. So so yeah, it makes a lot of difference for everyone.
Um, what is your favorite thought that motivates you to continue? A thought, or maybe I don't know, a quote. I don't
My
know.
favorite thought. My favorite thought is uh, okay. That's a nice question. Okay, my favorite thought is to play good. For example, like I want to, I know what uh, feels good for me. Like if I hit a shot or if I do that. So my only thought is to play that shot. Uh, if I can play that and if I can win the point, yeah, I feel good. Like I feel more confident, and then it helps me to push more. And then the other thought I would say to be satisfied. Uh, I want to be satisfied when I come out of the court. Win or lose, it doesn't matter, but mostly win. But yeah, it is there. But if I played a good match, if I can see, okay, I did something good, and if I'm happy with what I did, but still I lost. But if so, that thought, the satisfaction thought, it makes me happy and confident for the next match.
Uh, I'll try and keep this question brief. Have you ever gone to a match thinking you're gonna lose?
No,
No.
never. I mean, it happened in junior. It happened in junior uh, because like in juniors, like a lot of things like you want to win. So like even during a match, like I go there like I don't know, man. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there. Pretty much I lose. But if you have, it's like if you have more like willpower, like I don't know how to say, uh, if you have more desire and will the fight to win, like if you're hungry for the win, you won't even think about I will lose this match. Like you have to be like arrogant, I would say, like cocky before going to the court, like, okay, I want to win this. I will win this. But not cocky too much, but
Yeah.
just to your inner self that you have to be arrogant. Like I want to win, I will win. You have to say it out loud. Doesn't matter who hears it or something like that.
Right. Maybe I'll take the last two questions since we're running out of time. How has tennis
Yeah,
influenced
yeah,
you as a person on and off court?
Tennis, it made a lot of difference in my life. Like the way I am right now, it is because of tennis. Like a lot of life lessons I learned from tennis. Like I said, like being at present, just thinking of what to do right now. I'm not too worried about what's going to happen in the future. what's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm just pretty much on the go, like what I want to do in my life right now. If this makes me happy, then I'll be happy to do it. If there is and tennis had taught me to solve a problem like very easy, like any difficult situation, and I'm able to sit and think and find a solution, or not just a solution, but some way just to put my mind relaxed and find a solution for it.
Okay, the
Yeah.
final question I'll conclude, which
Yeah,
will
yeah.
be a good question rather to for everyone take away. You didn't have a long junior ITF career, but what
Yeah.
the keys to your junior tennis training that helped you get to where you are?
So yeah, that's true. I didn't have much of a long junior career, but the only thing changed was when I went to Spain. uh, I was there for first 3 months, and then again I went like 4 or 5 times. So that training really changed me. uh, but even in the junior, I had a natural game, but no one to teach me the professional way. Or I didn't have a coach. Like, not I didn't have a proper coach in junior. I was there were like two more players with me, so we just go to the tennis court. We just play for like hours and hours and hours, but nothing to teach. And we play a lot of tournaments. That I think that little bit made a difference on the junior path. But then pretty much the junior was a disaster for me. But I don't regret it. It is the way it is. And the major change was when I went to Spain. I trained there, so that I learned a lot of things there. The actual tennis. So that made a lot of difference uh, going into my men's.
Okay, but I'll take
Yeah,
this final question. It's a
yeah, yeah,
repeating
sure.
question from most of the viewers. Do you have any quotes in your mind about tennis that like, keeps you motivated all the time?
So there's no the one favorite quote for me is my master of my soul, captain of my fate. Right? No, master of my fate, captain of my soul. So that's like a tattoo I have. I
Oh,
can't. So
okay,
it's on my forearm.
nice. Okay,
So that's my favorite quote. And live. So basically, live. You have to live your life. So live your life to your fullest. So those two quotes are like my favorite. So you control what happens to you, and how you react, what you do in your life. So every moment it remains by you. So that's the quote I always carry.
okay. Thank you so much, Nikki, for your time. We truly appreciate it. Do you have anything in concluding to say, because there are a lot of Sri Lankan junior players right now on this chat or on
Okay.
this Zoom call. Is there anything that you would like to tell them, a takeaway for them?
Uh, the one thing I would say is that uh, just have fun playing. Uh, you have like when you play a match, you have to think about winning. Don't go into a court thinking about your opponent. Yes, he is good, but what are you going to do about it? But be aware at the moment. Do one thing at a moment. Even in off court, it matters. Doing one thing at one time will improve in tennis also. So you're gonna focus on one thing. So basically, I'll tell this even in the previous thing, like the previous interview. I told this like don't do multitasking. Like it became a cool thing to do multitasking now, doing two things at a time. But don't do that. It is gonna spoil your thoughts on tennis court. You're gonna have a dual thoughts, like you wanna hit a forehand, but you wanna hit a backhand also. So that way you can't decide. So I would say do, even off court, do one thing at a time, which will make, which will improve your focus level, and enjoy your tennis, even in practice. Put your 100% every day. Just enjoy, and treat everyone well. So that's the, I would say that's a good thing to do in life.
All right, Nikki, all the best for the tournaments that you plan to play in Tunisia and I think Egypt as well. You're trying Egypt as well, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. So all the best playing those tournaments and the rest of your career. Hopefully, the next time we get on a call like this, you will be in the top 500 or 100. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the goal.
that's for sure.
That's the goal, and also to make it to the Indian Davis Cup.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yes, definitely.
yeah. So with that, we'll conclude. Thank you, everyone who joined this call. Thank you for making the time, and we will see you all again next time. Yeah, with maybe some other player, and then later on we'll try and catch up with Nikki a couple of months or maybe in a year or so later. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, of course. Thank you so
See
much.
you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
And take care and stay safe.
Yeah, take care. Stay